Have you ever caught yourself reaching for your phone without even deciding to? That automatic twitch of your hand, like a puppet on invisible strings. You're sitting there, maybe trying to work, to think, to create something meaningful. But your fingers have already unlocked the screen. And for a moment, in that split second before the dopamine hits, you feel it. The hollowness. The slavery. Your body moves without your permission. Your mind craves something it doesn't even want. You've felt that sick realization at 3 a.m., scrolling through nothing, your eyes burning, knowing you're wasting your life, but unable to stop. That physical ache in your chest when you realize hours have vanished into the void of other people's lives, other people's thoughts, other people's agendas. But what if I told you this isn't weakness? What if this is exactly what they designed? What if your addiction isn't a personal failing, but a corporate success story worth billions? What if Nietzsche saw this coming over a century ago? And more importantly, what if he also saw the path to freedom? Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher who terrified society by declaring God dead, but who also believed in humanity's infinite potential for greatness. He saw that humans faced a choice: evolve into something magnificent or descend into comfortable meaninglessness. He called this lesser path the last man, not as an insult, but as a warning of what we might become if we trade our power for comfort. Man is something to be overcome, he wrote, not because we're worthless, but because we're capable of so much more. Nietzsche understood that the greatest threat to human potential wasn't oppression. It was the seduction of ease. He saw how power structures would learn to control not through force, but through comfort, distraction, and the illusion of connection. He knew that true freedom comes from recognizing these invisible chains and choosing to break them. And most importantly, he believed you have the strength to do it. This video is for you who checks your phone before your eyes fully open in the morning. For you who feels phantom vibrations in your pocket. For you who's tried app timers, digital detoxes, even leaving your phone in another room, but always crawl back. You've blamed yourself, called it lack of discipline, downloaded productivity apps to solve the problem created by apps. You've tried to use willpower against a machine designed by teams of neuroscientists to break your will. This isn't for people looking for life hacks. This is for those ready to understand how their mind became currency and why every notification is a chain. You think you're addicted to connection, to information, to entertainment. Surface level. The real addiction is to avoiding yourself. Every time you reach for that phone, you're running from the terrifying silence where you'd have to face what you haven't become. But deeper, they know this about you. Tech corporations hired the best minds in behavioral psychology, neuroscience, persuasion technology. They call it user engagement. Nietzsche would call it the manufacture of the last man. They studied casinos, variable reward schedules, intermittent reinforcement. They turned your pocket into a slot machine that pays out in dopamine. Your attention is literally being sold, not metaphorically. Right now, as you scroll, your eyeball movements are generating revenue. Your distraction is someone's yacht payment. Your inability to focus is a key performance indicator in a boardroom. Think about the meetings that happen to create your addiction. Executives asking, how do we increase time on platform? Engineers optimizing for stickiness. Psychologists explaining how to trigger FOMO, how to exploit your fear of missing out, your need for validation, your terror of being alone with your thoughts. They've created what Nietzsche feared most, humans who beg for their own domestication. You refresh your feed like a rat hitting a lever for pellets. You've been trained, conditioned. And the most insidious part? You defend it. I need it for work. It keeps me connected. I can quit any time. But you can't quit, can you? Because they've made it necessary. They've restructured society so you need their platforms to exist. Job applications through LinkedIn, news through Twitter, connection through Instagram. They didn't just create a product, they created a world where not using their product means social death. These are the words of Nietzsche's last man. Believing comfort is freedom, that ease is happiness, that distraction is life. You've become profitable livestock, and the farm looks like freedom because the fences are invisible. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power isn't about dominating others. It's about the fundamental drive to grow, create, overcome. It's the force that makes you want to be more than you are. But they've hijacked it, redirected it. Your will to power now expresses itself in collecting likes, building streaks, achieving meaningless digital metrics. Think about it. That same energy you use endlessly scrolling could build empires, but it's been channeled into making you the perfect consumer, passive, predictable, profitable. The Übermensch, Nietzsche's vision of human potential, creates values. You're refreshing your feed to see what values others have created for you to consume. Let me explain what's really happening in your brain. Every notification triggers the same neural pathways as a hit of cocaine. Your dopamine receptors are being systematically destroyed, requiring more and more stimulation for less and less satisfaction. You're not just psychologically addicted. Your brain has been physically rewired. But here's where transformation begins. Recognizing the cage. The moment you see your addiction as engineered, not natural, everything shifts. You're not weak. You're fighting a war you didn't know was being waged. Your enemy isn't the phone. It's the part of you that chose comfort over growth, that would rather scroll than confront the abyss of your unused potential. Nietzsche wrote about amor fati, loving your fate. But how can you love a fate you didn't choose? How can you embrace a life lived through screens, mediated by algorithms, measured in engagement metrics? This isn't your fate, it's your programming. And programming can be rewritten. But knowing you're enslaved is only the beginning. What comes next will determine whether you remain profitable livestock or become dangerous to their business model. If this message is speaking to you, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. The path out isn't another app or technique. It's what Nietzsche called self-overcoming. You must declare war on your last man tendencies. Every time you feel the urge to check your phone, that's not addiction. That's your will to power misdirected. Reclaim it. Use that energy to create, to think, to become. Here's the practical reality. Start with 1 hour each morning. Phone off, not on silent, off. In that hour, you'll feel the anxiety, the boredom, the desperate need for stimulation. Good. That's withdrawal from their currency system. That's your mind demanding its wages of distraction. Deny it. Sit with the discomfort. This is where the last man dies, and something greater begins to emerge. In that silence, you'll meet yourself for the first time in years. It will be uncomfortable. You'll realize how much of your personality is just regurgitated content, how many of your opinions are algorithmic suggestions, how much of your identity is a curation of other people's lives. This is the abyss Nietzsche spoke of, and when you stare into it, you'll finally see what you're capable of becoming. They profit from your weakness. Your strength is bad for business. Every moment you spend creating instead of consuming, thinking instead of scrolling, becoming instead of vegetating, you're committing corporate sabotage. You're becoming unprofitable, uncontrollable, free. Your addiction isn't your shame, it's your power misdirected. The same intensity you bring to checking notifications could reshape your entire existence. The energy isn't gone, it's been stolen. Take it back. Imagine yourself in 6 months. You wake without reaching for your phone. Your mind is sharp, focused, hungry for creation, not consumption. You've replaced scrolling with building. Maybe art, maybe a business, maybe just the architecture of your own thoughts. You look at others glued to their screens and feel not superiority but recognition. That used to be you, willingly tranquilized, happily enslaved. But now, you're dangerous, unpredictable. No algorithm can model you because you've reclaimed your will. You create content instead of consuming it. You generate value instead of being valued for your data. You've become what they fear most, a human who thinks without their input, who finds meaning without their platform, who exists powerfully outside their profit model. The transformation isn't just personal, it's existential. When you break free, you don't just change your habits, you change your being. You move from consumer to creator, from product to producer, from last man to Ubermensch. You stop asking, what's trending, and start asking, what matters. You stop seeking validation through hearts and thumbs, and start validating yourself through actual accomplishment. This is bigger than productivity. This is about who you are in the world. Are you a data point in someone else's algorithm, or the author of your own existence? Are you living a mediated life, or an authentic one? Are you experiencing reality, or a curated simulation designed to keep you docile and profitable? Nietzsche believed in eternal recurrence, that you should live as if you'd have to repeat your life infinitely. Would you want to repeat today? Would you want to relive those hours of scrolling, that mindless consumption, that digital numbness? Or would you want to repeat a day where you created something, thought deeply, connected genuinely, lived fully? This is Nietzsche's call across time. Stop being livestock. The fact that your slavery is comfortable, even pleasurable, makes it more insidious, not less. Your phone isn't evil. It's a tool that's been turned against you. Master it or be mastered. Here's my challenge. Comment below with the words, "I reclaim my will," but only if you're ready to mean it. Only if you're willing to feel the discomfort of growth over the comfort of digital death.